Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Marvel Studios, the first 10 year. Now this is the 10th anniversary of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So here we have Red Skull from Captain America, the First Avenger. So this was the first Captain America movie. This is number 2 in the set. But here he is looking awesome. You can see we have additional heads for Hydra soldiers. So really cool army building potential with this figure. Let's take a look. So we have the Marvel Studios, the first 10 years logo here in the top corner. Legend series in the opposite corner. You see Red Skull. We have the Captain America shield logo there, and then movie logo for Captain America, the First Avenger. Really, really cool. Here we have the side artwork looking pretty cool. It's the concept art for the movie. You can see Captain America during World War II up here, and then as we start to go into the Avengers, you see Loki. And you can see here it says 2011 Captain America the First Avenger. Hydra leader Johann Schmidt creates Tesseract-powered weapons to destroy American cities, but doesn't anticipate interference from newly dubbed hero Captain America. In their first meeting, Schmidt removes his mask to reveal crimson skin, a signature hue that has earned him the name Red Skull. Okay, and here we have a look at the back of the package. We have the number 2 up here because we know that this is number 2 in the set. Here we see the Marvel Studios, the first 10 years logo again. And here we have the Captain America First Avenger movie poster. And then here we have a read-up of Red Skull. Okay, and the bio for Red Skull reads, obsessed with the power of the Tesseract, Johann Schmidt teams up with Dr. Arnim Zola to create a supercharged arms force that will change the fate of World War II and the world. Alright, here's a close-up look at the four different heads that comes with Red Skull. So looking awesome, the different Hydra soldiers that we're going to be able to put together. So we know that there's certain... The reason why there's multiple heads is because, there's a Hydra soldier, there's a Forcer, and I think one of them is supposed to be the head for the guy that's, on the train where the Zola, they set up the trap that doesn't work, but Bucky ends up falling out of the train. I think one of the heads might represent that as well. I think it's the one with the red eyes. I could be wrong, but really cool. So I can't wait to get this open. Let's get right to it and check out the figure. Alright, and here is the Red Skull figure out of the package, looking absolutely amazing. I really like this figure. Now before I get into the accessories and before I get to the picture, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to my friend Plastic Soul Collector on Instagram. I'll have a link to his Instagram down in the description below. But he was nice enough to let me have one of his. He got 2 of them. I haven't gotten mine yet. But he said, hey man, just go ahead and take one, and then when yours comes in, just give me one of those ones that comes in. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Really excited to have this one. It's funny because when I first got into collecting, first started collecting, it was that Captain America the Winter Soldier Mandroid wave that really set it off for me, because I was a huge fan and I really liked it. The Green Goblin wave, the Spider-Man wave, had come out shortly after, kind of around the same time, and I love those figures too, but it was the MCU movie figures that really hooked me in. And that Red Skull figure that's in that wave for the longest time I thought was a movie figure. That was when I early on, and I just didn't know. I didn't know anything really, so I just assumed it was a movie figure. It had a Tesseract with it, so I'm like, oh, it's a movie figure. Little did I know that's really just the Cosmic Cube, which is not the same in comic books and in the movies. So it was a while before I realized it, and I was like, oh, I got to get this out of the shelf. He doesn't go there. He's the comic figure. But now we finally have a movie Red Skull figure, and I'm very excited. Now, a couple of things with this figure. So we know that because of the troop building and the army building possibilities with this figure, that this outfit is not what we're probably used to seeing Red Skull wearing from that movie. But I went back and I looked at images. Johann Schmidt does wear this outfit when he has the regular head mask looking thing, so when he's not looking like this. When he takes that mask off and he reveals his actual face, the Red Skull face, he was wearing the long black trench coat, and that's the figure that's going to be coming out in the Comic-Con exclusive that comes with the Tesseract. So that figure, I will be getting that figure. I don't have a hookup or a connect for San Diego Comic-Con, unfortunately. I wish I did. Man, it's killing me. But I'll be ordering it on Hasbro Toy Shop when it becomes available on August 13th. So that'll be the main figure. But this one is still technically accurate for the most part, because he did wear that costume in the movie, and it's what he wore under the trench coat, so it works. Like if you look up the Hot Toy, this is how he looks in the Hot Toy, so still very cool. Before we look at the figure itself, let's take a quick look at the accessories. So really cool. Okay, so here's a closer look at the accessories. So here we have kind of this harness piece that you can put onto the Hydra soldier, to the body, to make it for the Hydra soldiers and troops. So it's a nice little accessory, and gets the figure to really differentiate itself between Red Skull and the Hydra troop. So there's a little bit of kind of gunmetal paint color to it. It's basically just black plastic, but there is some of that silver color that's on there, and the sculpt does look very good. I do like the way it comes out looking on the sculpt, and you can see that there's a nice little Hydra logo right there sculpted in the front, so really cool. He also comes with an additional left hand, and the reason for that is because this will hold the barrel of the gun, or not the barrel, but the second handle of the gun. So you can see, you know, when he's going to be holding it, he'll be able to do that. So really cool. We'll look at that in a little bit. Actually, we'll look at the gun. Go ahead and look at the gun right now. So nice sculpt work to the gun. There's some different colors into it. There's black, and then there's some silver into it, and it looks very good. I'm sure, and I'd have to look up pictures of this actual gun from the movie, but I'm sure that this is movie accurate. And this is how those Tesseract-powered weapons that Arnim Zola designed, this is how they look in the movie. I do remember the large barrel from watching the movie. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I probably should watch it again. So, again, looking really good on the gun. Now we have 3 alternate heads here. So the first one is all black, and you can see we have those kind of the signature H goggles that come up over the head, looking really cool. This one is a full mask, so I don't know if it's a special breather or what the difference is with this one, and why it is why it specifically came out, you know, why they designed it this way. But it looks very good. It's funny, these goggles are actually, if you ever go to Disneyland and go on the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in the Collector's Vault, he actually has one of these masks and helmet, so it's pretty cool. Next is a very similar one, but this one you actually see some of the Hydra soldier's face to it. There's no digital face print because there's really no eyes or anything like that on there, so it does look pretty good. It's basically the same, it just doesn't have this front mask piece there, but you can see the head is basically the same. Whoop, head's rolling. And then this one I want to say is kind of like the Hydra Enforcer head, and that one looks very good. A little black paint right on the tip of his nose, but no big deal. But the lenses are painted red, and the red paint is done pretty well. No issues there. And the head is actually sculpted very differently. He doesn't have the normal goggles like the other ones do, so it is a very differently sculpted head. And that looks very good. As we're looking at the figure, I'll actually be switching out the head so you can see how they all look. Those are the accessories that comes with the figures. Okay, here's the Red Skull figure. Looks awesome. I really, really like the way the details look on his face. The sculpt is done very well to give it a full, nice, regular head feature, but then in the front to really give it that skull look without it looking like an actual skull. So I really do like the way it came out. He does have the digital face print on the eyes, and there is a nice black wash over the head to really give it that that kind of dark skin look to it, so that's done very nice. The figure itself looks good with the green and the red. I would almost prefer that it was a little bit darker, because the Hydra soldiers, the only big difference I guess with that would be is the Hydra soldiers in the movie are actually in all black, so this one's going to be a little tricky because it's got basically green. But it's a good looking figure. Black boots on the green suit with the red kind of throughout. There's actually some black in the pant here along that line, that crease. So it looks very, very good. I do like that. So we'll take a look at the articulation. Before I get to the articulation, I just want to show you a close-up on the digital face print, and I think that looks really awesome. I really like the way that looks. Definitely looks menacing, but you could clearly see the pupils in the eyes, and it kind of has that crazy look, so I like the way that came out. Okay, and looking at the articulation, there's some good stuff about this figure, and there's some stuff that is a little bit frustrating and challenging, but let's go over it real quick. So the head could turn side to side, obviously. The head is nice and stiff on there, so it's not real loose, but there is a tiny little bit of pivot, not a whole lot, but he can look all the way down, which is good, and he can look up, which I do like as well. The shoulders come out only so far, and that's because of the way the uniform is sculpted over, so you just want to be careful when getting them in there. So not all the way out, but a little bit. You do get an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which gives you a full bend right there, so all the way coming up, because you could see how deep the hinge goes into the forearm and into the bicep, so really cool there. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge on both sides as well. There is no ab crunch, there is a diaphragm joint, so here you can kind of get, a little pivot to the side, not so much that way, a little bit forward, but not a whole lot really, a little tiny bit back, and then you do get a waist swivel, and I'm trying to see if that's, yeah, it's just a standard swivel at the waist. So you do get this skirt piece, and that is a floating piece that can kind of be moved around. It's done with a very soft material. It does not come off, so there's no clips or anything on there, but it's not so bad, and it doesn't get in the way of the articulation. As you can see, the legs go all the way far apart. He's doing the splits, which is crazy because I'm sure Red Skull would never do that, but that's done nice, quite nice to give you good range. There is an upper thigh cut there. You do get a double jointed elbow, which gives you a nice clean bend at elbow, knee, a clean bend at the knee, so which that actually looks pretty good. It's a little flat in some areas, but it's definitely not so bad. So good range of motion there. There is no boot cut or calf swivel. And then here's where my biggest frustration comes. There is ankle pivot, but this, I'm going to have to warm this up in hot water because this ankle doesn't want to move, which makes him a little bit difficult to stand. And I'm sure that's not going to be the case for all of them, because the right foot, you can see it hinges all the way down. There's a little bit of up motion, but not really a whole lot. And then again, it's the full pivot. So there you go. And that looks very good. Now popping off the heads, very easy. You can see it just comes right off. And you can pop on the other heads. That one you got a little force to get it, and then you can see how the Hydra soldier looks there. It looks pretty good. It looks like a full-size helmet, so it's a little big, but I think when you have a helmeted head, it should be a little bit bigger than what you would think for the body. So if you kind of look closely, you could kind of see that, you know, it's believable that there's a real head in there, so I like the way that looks. Pop that off, put another one on. And I think that looks really good. That's going to be kind of the main Hydra soldier look to it right there. Let's get the Enforcer head on. He didn't really snap in place, but you can get in there. And that looks pretty good as well. One thing I haven't done yet is this harness to really give it that Hydra soldier look to it. I'm trying to see what's the best way to do it. There's no clips or anything, so I think it's just, oh wait, there's a clip there. So let's see, let's work the arm around. Let's take the head off the joint. So let's see, we're gonna work the arm around, get this over the shoulders there. We're going to come back around and we're going to clip this on. weird angle to try and clip that on. Well, okay, got it there. And there is the Hydra Soldier. That harness definitely makes it, really differentiates him from the Red Skull, which is nice. So I like the way that came out. Now for the hand, he's got trigger fingers on both hands, which is odd because I'll show you here in a minute something that Plastic Soul Collector showed me. So on the gun, you could see how far the trigger is from the handle. So this trigger finger is really not going to do any good because it's not going to reach all the way to where the actual trigger is. But getting the gun into the hand really isn't so much a problem. So you won't be any concerns there. You can just kind of get that right in there. It looks good, and then you could kind of, he can hold the gun like so. So there is the Hydra Soldier. And I think that looks very good. So I don't know about you guys, how many of you guys are going to need in your collection. I need 4 of these figures. I need 1 figure to display each head with. So I am going to end up with 2 Red Skull figures displayed in my collection. And I don't mind doing that. If they're different outfits, it doesn't bother me at all. I'll have both of them in the same display. Because I display all my figures by movie. So eventually, after all these 10th anniversary figures, I will do a collection video. Several of you people... several of you guys have asked. I know it's long overdue. I will do that, and he falls down. See, I gotta get that left ankle going so I can get him to stand up and stay up. So collection video will be coming soon after I get through all these Marvel Studios 10th anniversary figures. There's a couple more that I want to get in as well. I want to get the Target exclusive 2-packs, the Killmonger and Ross, the Winter Soldier and Falcon. Once I have all the figures, that's when I'd like to do the collection video. That way it'll be done for the year before any of the new figures for the next year come in. So there it is. So Hydra Soldiers, Red Skull, awesome figure. I do recommend it. $24.99 because the premium price point on these 10th anniversary figures. With this particular figure, I think it's well justified because we are getting a figure with a brand new sculpt, 100% new sculpt, so there's no reused parts whatsoever. Maybe the hands, maybe, but the figure itself is new. Plus, we're getting 4 heads out of it, which is definitely awesome because we know that, you know, in regular waves when there's bodies with new sculpt and everything, it's some of the other figures from that wave that help kind of balance out the cost with Hasbro. But this on a single release figure, all new sculpt, it's quite a bit. So I think it's definitely one pickup. So there's my review. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so again. And then check out my friend Plastic Soul Collector in the link in the description below on Instagram. He does ACBA and all of that. So awesome stuff you can check out on his account. And then, as always, guys, thank you for watching.